So with this drawing, we are going to be using this orthographic to draw our isometric. So the question reads, in the figure above shows two views of a machine bracket. Draw the isometric of the bracket with corner E at its lowest point. Insert at least 3 main dimensions. Omit all hidden lines. We can see the projection symbol is in first angle projection. So I would say the first view would be the front. The plan is supposed to be below, and this view is the end. Alright, so first thing first, what I'm going to do is note the main measurements or the longest measurements of the width, height, and depth. So we have 64, 59, and 50. Note that E would be the lowest point. So going to our drawing paper, construction line, I'm going to construct an isometric box. So I'll just draw a line here, any angle, and that would be our reference line. So we are ensuring that our polar tracking is set to 30 because our isometric must be drawn at 30. Alright, and we ensure that it snaps to 30. We take our first measurement, 50. And we'll go to our other measurement, 64, and our height is going to be 59. So using these measurements, let's construct our isometric box. So there we have our isometric box, 50 by 64 by 59, and E being the lowest point, right? So next thing we're going to do, we're going to look at this top portion here. So from the side, we can see it does not take the full shape of the isometric box. It's something like a tower, and then we have a base at the bottom. Alright, so at the end we can see the base, and from the front we can see the base as well. So let's draw the base. Alright, and the thickness or the height of the base is going to be 8 millimeters, and then we'll go and we'll draw this top. So the top would be 16 along the front, and then we have 12 and 8 here, which is 20 along the end. Alright, so take a note of those measurements, 20, 16, and 8. So here we're going to do the 8. And we'll just stop it somewhere there. Same thing for this one. Stop it somewhere here. And then we're going to do the 16 along the front to the top corner, and then 20 along the end. Nice. So we could start by drawing this upside down L that we have here. So that comes down 24 and it goes in 12. Then we have this little piece that comes down here at 8 and it comes across at 8. Okay, so let's get that. Comes down at 8 and then it goes in at 8. Alright, and then we have this one coming down at 24 and it goes in at 12. And we can. So now let's go back to the question. So if we look to the bottom here on the end, we would see that we have this upside down L. Alright, so the L goes up at 16 from the base and then goes across to the 8, and then this 8 will connect back to the top here as well. So let's take note of these measurements, the 16 and this 8. So we could go ahead and construct this L. So from the base, we go up 16 and then we'll come across 8 and then we'll come all the way back up. So we need to make this an L, so we could either move this or trim it. Right, and now we know this point is going to be connected to this point, and then we have this point is going to be connected to this point. Nice. So our shape is coming together. Let's delete this by the time. Let's go back to the question. So if we look to the base here, we'll see that we have a 12 here, but this 12 represents this triangular part here, and it's set back by 16. So let's draw that 16 and 12. From this point, set back at 16, then it comes out at 12. Now we can connect this to this, and we can connect this to this. Let's draw a line coming all the way down here, and let's draw a line coming all the way across. Okay. Let's do some trimming. And we can see very nicely our shape is coming together. Let's insert the text here at our point E. So we are not done. Let's go back to the question. So here we see we have the shape finally coming together. We could go ahead and change some of our lines from construction line layer to the object line layer. So we have all of this as object lines. Lovely. Now, if we look at this base part here, or this flatter part of the drawing, we would see that we have something. It looks like a circle to me. So the diameter looks like 24 millimeters. So from the front, we are 24 from the end, from the edge, and we go in 14 to get the center, and then the diameter would be 24. The front 24, end 14, and then 24. So let's go back into the, so from the front, we come 24, and then we go in 14, right? And then we know the diameter is going to be 24. So with this drawing, we are not going to construct an isometric circle. We are actually going to use the ISO tool. So for some persons, you may see the ISO tool or the drafting icon right down to the bottom on this tray here, isometric drafting. Right now it's turned off. Okay, so what we can do if we don't see it there, we go to Object Snap, right click, go to Object Snap Settings, then go to Snap and Grid, we go to Isometric Snap, and we click OK. And immediately we'll see our cursor changes to this isometric cursor. Okay, so we all know that circles drawn in isometric are elliptical. Alright, so we can go right ahead and use the elliptical tool. We use the one axis end. Nice. Then right here they will give us three options. Specify axis endpoint of ellipse, or arc, center, or isocircle. We're going to choose isocircle. Alright. Now they are telling us to specify center. Nice. And then we have two options here. So when drawing isocircles or isometric circles, we can draw the isometric circles on three planes. So we have the top plane, the right plane, or the left plane. Okay, so presently this isocircle is on the left plane, right? So we need to change it to the top plane, right? And how do we do that? We press F5 to switch the planes. So this is the top, this is the right, and this is the left plane. So we go back to the top plane, nice, and then we're not clicking anything as yet, we're typing in the radius. So the radius would be half of the 24, which would be 12, and enter. So we could go right ahead and change this to the object line layer, right? And what we want to do now is copy, and we copy from the center, and we are going to copy the 8 thickness, enter, because at the end of the day, let's trim. We want to see straight through our object. Now we can go ahead and just delete these construction lines, and there we have our shape, and E being the lowest point. Now let's go back to the question. Okay, so remember in the question they said for us to insert at least 3 main dimensions. Okay, we're going to insert the dimensions now. So right from here I could select which 3 main dimensions I want to put in, and I'll use 1 as the radius or diameter of the circle. I'll use the length, and then I'll use a height. Alright, so let's go back to the drawing. I'll go to my dimensions tab. Let me take this off, isometric drafting, so I could either select this icon here, or I could right click on object snap, then go to object snap settings, then go to snap and grid, and go back to rectangular snap. Okay, so you see the cursor has changed again, right? So let me go to the dimension tool. I want to dimension this measurement here. Okay, let me try it again. Nice. And from just by watching it, we can see that our it look. So now we're going to insert the leader, and we're going to use radius capital R and 12. Nice. Next, we're going to fix these. So what we would do, we would type time, edit, click on it, and we select oblique. We click the dimensions and the direction in which we want this dimension line to go. We're going to right click and we're going to select any line that shows that. We could come in with this a bit. Let's delete this. Don't need this anymore. Let's do it for this one again. 9, edit, oblique, click the dimension, right click, and then we select the line that we wanted to match up with. So there we have our drawing. E being the lowest point, at least 3 main dimensions,